Is Derek Carr underpaid? Now, when I first saw this article on NFLnetwork.com that suggested that Derek Carr is actually an underpaid quarterback, I was just thinking to myself, wait, isn't this guy just got a contract making him the highest paid NFL player ever? And when I read the article, it was very interesting. They were talking about how the NFL has a socialist system when it comes to signing their players and whatnot, and how there's really no middle class with the NFL when it comes to quarterbacks. You're either paid hundreds of millions of dollars or you're just stuck with a rookie contract. There's no really middle ground. Now, when I look at this, when I look at Derek Carr, they said in the article that Derek Carr is only worth 30% more than Ndamukung Suh, like a defensive lineman who pass rushes well and all that. When I first read that, they're trying to make the argument that Derek Carr should be worth way more than a defensive lineman. Defensive linemen are so important in the NFL. Don't just look at some of the Super Bowl champions that I had in the past couple of years. If you look at the New England Patriots, if you look at Marquise Flowers or Trey Flowers, whatever his name is, he racked up 2 sacks in the Super Bowl. Okay, that was very important to them. Vic Beasley, who also played in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, he got some sacks there. He is extremely valuable. Went to a Super Bowl. Denver Broncos won a Super Bowl with having Von Miller on their team and DeMarcus Ware on the other side. And then if you look at the Carolina Panthers, they had Quan Short, who racked up 11 sacks. Okay, those are big deal. Then the year before, you had the New England Patriots versus the Seahawks. You had Michael Bennett, Cliff Averill, and then you have Chandler Jones. Like, those are pass rushers, stud pass rushers. Year before that, you have Michael Bennett, and then you have Von Miller. But Von Miller was injured in that Super Bowl. Then the year before that, you had like Terrell Suggs, and then you on the other side you had Aldon Smith, and then for the next in the Super Bowl before that, you had the New York Giants. You had like Jason Pierre-Paul, Justin Tuck, Osi Umenora. The New England Patriots, you had Vince Wilfork, and then you go to the Super Bowl before that, you had the Steelers defense, and then you got the Packers defense with Clay Matthews and whatnot. And on the Steelers, you had James Harrison, of course. I was just blanking on his name for a second. But look at this. Pass rush is very important in the NFL, okay? The teams with great pass rushers are sometimes the teams that will get to the Super Bowl. That's when you look at the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans have a real shot at being a Super Bowl champion if they can find themselves an offensive rhythm with this team. No joke. If they find some offensive rhythm, and they do have an offensive coach, that in the next 5 years, Texas could be hosting a Lombardi Trophy in their hands. No joke. Just because they have J.J. Watt, Jadeveon Clowney, Whitney Merciless, stout D-line right there. And the D-line is very important. And yes, in some of the names I mentioned, some of those are linebackers, but come on, they go as pass rushers. And then they go into the article that teams with Nick Perry, how Nick Perry's contract is only half of Derek Carr's. And I get it that most teams would rather have Derek Carr than 2 Nick Perrys. Well, I'll look at this with Nick Perry. Nick Perry might emerge as one of the best pass rushers in the NFL. And pass rushers are extremely important. And just don't get me wrong. I know it's a quarterback-driven league, but pass rushers have played a huge role in the NFL. And so when I look at Derek Carr, I don't think he's underpaid at all. It's just what the market is. Now, if you compare it to other sports and how popular the NFL is and what do they do to their bodies, that NFL players could get play more. Now, that's another discussion. But when I look at this, Derek Carr is not, and I repeat, is not underpaid. And trust me, don't get me wrong, and don't tell me that defensive linemen and pass rushers aren't worth as much, because that is complete bogus.